Hey everyone, it's time for another review. I'm gonna be reviewing a horror comedy, Lisa Frankenstein. So I got this copy at Walmart. It's cool that they actually have copies now of movies, and I really like this one a lot. So Catherine Newton's been in several projects, and Cole Sprouse has been in several projects as well. I wouldn't have pictured them being in a movie together, but this was a real cool movie. They had a great mix, and the cool thing about this movie is it is designed to be stylized as an 80s movie. Now, of course, coming out this year, of course, it doesn't, the visuals don't look like an 80s movie, but the themes in it, the music, the way people dress, the hair, just the way the script is, it does feel like an 80s movie, which is really cool. So I give them props for that because even though the visuals, it looks like a modern movie, it feels like an 80s movie. So that was a cool plus side. So in this movie, essentially, Lisa doesn't really make friends in high school. She struggles to really fit in, and she likes visiting the cemetery with a statue of this guy she doesn't know, imagining that he's the way she would want him to be if he were alive. So, and as classic horror movies go, because plot, toward its beginning, lightning strikes down into the grave and he comes to life. And she doesn't really know much about him. And this movie sort of takes on its lore in its own way, sort of makes up its own rules. So not only does random green lightning bring him to life, she now has to figure out what she's gonna do with him. He shows up at her house. He's looking for her because she's one always calling to him. And now she helps him get cleaned up a little bit. And as the movie progresses, he gets more and more human, but he visually gets more and more human. He crawled out of the grave, so he's all dirty, he's gross, he's nasty. He gets more and more normal looking, I guess, for lack of any better term, as the movie goes along. And what's really cool is you sort of just see the relationship between them continuously growing. She's trying to make friends. She's trying to date someone that's not him. She's trying her best to fit in to her world while trying to keep him on the side. Well, all he wants to do is be a part of her world when she doesn't want him to be. Not really, not yet. So this movie has some interesting kills, and the reason the kills are done is because he needs body parts. Whatever happened to him in his life, he lost an ear. So that's the first thing he needs. And it's just things like that. When he's killing people that are an annoyance to her or bothering her or puts her in danger, he's also taking something from them to make himself more human and more whole. And so you can there's themes that you can talk about how he's slowly becoming human throughout the movie. And it's just really cool to see because this is used for the movie's violence, earning its spot as a horror movie, but it's also used to be comedic as well, which really worked in this. I thought what they did to try to be funny was funny, and it really worked. And as part of its own rules that it makes up in this movie, is when he gets a new body part, she's sewing it on, and the tanning bed is what cements it working. So I just love a movie that takes this generic, goofy concept, makes up their own rules, and does their own thing with it. I like that, and I really like this a lot. Not only was it funny constantly, it was a growing story, character development all the way through between both of them, while having those horror elements, while having those comedy elements, while having that 80s style, while having a nice script to go with it as well. Everything about it was just so well done. I give it 9 out of 10. There wasn't really anything I didn't like about it. There were some parts that were slow, but not very many at all. So, when it comes to its ending, it actually turns into being very dramatic, very almost emotional, really, when it's decided that after everything they've been doing on this sort of romantic killing spree together, um, they're going to get caught. And so they decide the only way to not really get caught is she dies and he takes off. And so that's the emotional part of this movie as he's so close to becoming human. And we get this final shot of the movie where he's finally reading to her. He speaks for the first time in the last scene of the movie where she appears to have clearly have been dead and brought back. He did the same thing to her she did to him. She gave him this chance when she was trying to give anyone else that chance. And now that's all he's doing for her. So it was a sweet movie. I liked it. It was funny. It was violent. I just love the 80s style, just plain and simple. But it ended where they could do a sequel, I guess. But I don't know if they're going to. But this would be a great movie as a standalone. But a sequel could be interesting as well. So I liked it. This was a great, funny movie. If you want something that's a horror comedy that feels like it's something a little bit different, I would go with this one. I liked it a lot. I recommend it. I thought it was great. Thank you guys for watching.